Okay, in this short video, I'm going to show you how to set up command line interface to Actifio using a Unix-based OS. In this example, it's actually going to be Mac OS, but this example would work perfectly fine on pretty well anything, whether it's AIX, Linux, HPUX. So the main thing we need to do is we need to use SSH keygen, which is a standard binary you'll find on any Unix distribution, to create an open SSH private key and public key. And we can think of the public key as the lock in the front door, which everyone can see. Now, effectively, the public key is the file or the thing that we give Actifio. The private key is like your door key. It's the thing that you retain, and it's the thing that you use to authenticate yourself. So the thing that you can use to open the key or open the lock in your door, that's what your private key file is. Now, in a standard Unix OS, we normally have, if I do a print working directory here, you can see I'm currently in my users Anthony SSH folder. If you're not quite certain how to get there, this is one simple command that I often use. The tilde takes you to home.ssh. It's your hidden SSH directory. Now, I actually have a couple of files in here, which is the IDS RSA pub and IDRSA with private key. These two files are effectively already a public key and a private SSH key, but what I want to show you is how to generate a new pair. So this is the command that we would use. SSH keygen minus type RSA minus bits 1024, and in this example I'm going to give it a name. If I don't, it'll call it ID RSA pub, just like the defaults there. But instead it's going to call me test me. All right. I hit the button. It says, okay, generating public private RSA keypad. Do you want to use a passphrase? No, I don't. And it's done it. It was literally that easy. And what you've now got is two files, test me pub and test me. Now, test me pub is the public key file, and this is the thing that we really only need to use once, which is this guy here. So what I'm going to do is open that up, Control C, or Command C in the case of Mac, and copy it into my clipboard. I now go to the Actifio desktop. I've gone to the domain manager, I've gone to the cog, and I've requested a new user. And I can see the new user panel is up. So I'm going to make a new user called Anthony V. Give Anthony V a password. Remember, Anthony V can be used to log on to the GUI as well as the CLI. Hit save. I've done step one. Now, a lot of users hit save at this point and they think, hey, great, I've made a new user called Anthony V. I can now log on. Well, no, there's a couple of things I need to do. First up, I have to give Anthony V a role. The basic role is pretty limited. Really, it can't do anything. So I'm going to make Anthony V pretty powerful. I'm going to make him an administrator, which means I can do everything. Hit save. The other thing is the organization. The public organization that's put in can't actually see any of the current constructs, whether they're SLAs, whether they're applications or hosts. So I'm going to put it in all. So the Anthony V user I've now effectively made as a primary administrator. Last step is to add the CLI key. So I right click and I go add CLI access. And in this box I paste in that public key that I generated earlier. That's literally all I need to do. Hit submit. And what I've now given to Actifio is the public key that is needed to connect to Actifio. So this is great. So I can now drop back to here. We'll clear all this out. I now want to SSH to Actifio. So to do that, I need to use the SSH command. So what I do, now remember, I have in here some existing keys. These are the default ones that my Unix will use if I don't specify it, and I've created a new one. So I'm going to use SSH minus I and point to test me. So minus I says, hey, this is the file I want you to use. Anthony V at, and now I put in the fully qualified name or the IP address of my Actifio. So it's as simple as that. Of course, I've got to type it right. If I type it right, what it will do is it will log on to the relevant Actifio, and bang, I'm now connected. Now, of course, you might be staring at this thinking, well, what do I do next? Well, the most obvious thing to do is type help. Help will list the two standard commands, UDS info and UDS task, and then give you more hints, or you could use report list to bring up the simple Actifio report generator, which is a community-driven tool to create standard reporting functions. If you're still confused, not a problem. You can hit the website of the Actifio copy data storage device and download the CLI guide. Here's the CLI guide for 5.1, and you can see pretty well every function that you can imagine is documented quite nicely in it. So plenty of ways to get help, and good luck. Thank you.